Once there lived a stone cutter in a small village. All day long he worked hard, cutting the hard stones and making the shapes ordered by his customers. His hands were hard and his clothes were dirty. One day he went out to work on a big stone. The sun was very hot and it was very hard to work. After spending several hours cutting the stone, he sat down in the shade of a tree and soon fell asleep. After some time, he heard the sound of somebody coming. He woke up and saw a procession of many soldiers and attendants, and in the middle, some people were carrying a palanquin. The king of the kingdom was sitting inside.
"How is the great king?"
thought he.
"How happy I would have been if I were the king instead of a poor stone cutter."
As soon as he thought so, a strange thing happened. He found himself dressed in silk clothes and shining jewels. His hands were soft and he was sitting in a comfortable palanquin. He looked through the curtains and thought,
"How easy it is to be a king. These people are here to serve me."
The procession moved on and the sun grew hotter. The stonecutter, now the king, longed for some rest. He asked the procession to stop so that he could rest for some time. At once, the chief of the soldiers bent before him and said,
"Your Majesty, only this morning you sure to have me hanged to death if we did not reach the palace before sunset."
The stonecutter felt sorry for him and ordered the procession to go on its way again. As the afternoon wore on, the sun grew hotter and the king became more and more uncomfortable.
"I am powerful, it is true, but the sun is more powerful,"
he thought.
"I would rather be the sun than a king."
At once, he became the sun, shining down on the earth. His new power was hard to control. He shone too strongly. He burned up the fields with his rays and turned the ocean into vapor, forming a great cloud which covered the land. But no matter how hard he shone, he could not see through the clouds.
It is obvious that the clouds are even stronger and more powerful than sun,
thought the stonecutter.
Not the sun. I would rather be a cloud.
Suddenly, he found himself turned into a huge dark cloud. He started using his new power. He poured rain down on the fields and caused floods. All the trees and houses were swept away but a boulder, the one he had been cutting when he was a stonecutter, was unmoved and unchanged. However much he poured down on the stone, it did not move.
"So, that rock is more powerful than I am,"
thought the stonecutter, now a large, dark cloud.
"Only a stonecutter could change the rock by his skill. How I wish I were a stonecutter again."
No sooner had he thought it than he found himself sitting on a stone with hard and rough hands. He picked up his tools and happily set to work on the boulder.